Hello everyone, welcome back to the POPSICLE KNIGHT channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please don't forget to hit that like button if you like this video, hit the thumbs down if you don't, and please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. So for today, we'll be taking a look at Gengar from the new Chilling Reign set. Gengar is a stage 2 Pokemon with 130 HP, it has 1 retreat cost, it has a resistance to fighting, and it's weak to dark. It has the ability Last Gift. If this Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. This is very much the same as the old Teammate supporter card, and this is really good because this ability allows you to search your deck for any 2 cards, which can make a big difference in your recovery or even getting the card you need to complete that winning combo. It only has 1 attack, Pain Burst. For 3 colorless energy, it will deal 10 plus damage. And this attack will do 40 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Gengar is really good since its attack cost is colorless. You can technically put this in any type of deck build. This attack is also a slightly weaker version of Sableivy's Crazy Claws attack, but it can be quite powerful. It's just a matter of getting those damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon. And I'll be using a few strategies to build up damage counters against our opponent's Pokemon. First, I'll be using the new Inteleon. Inteleon is a stage 2 Rapid Strike Pokemon with 150 HP. It has 1 retreat cost and is weak to lightning. And it has such a strong ability called Quick Shooting. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So if we can set up a few of these, it can really increase Gengar's damage output by a lot. And it also has 1 attack, Waterfall. For 2 colorless energy, it can deal 70 damage. And just like Gengar, Inteleon is really good too because of the colorless cost of its attack. It allows you to be able to incorporate it in any deck. But its attack can be very significant too because it can deal just enough damage, and Gengar can technically KO any Pokemon in the game with 7 or more damage counters on them. Another way to build up damage counter is by using the Old Cemetery Stadium card. Whenever any player attaches an energy card from their hand to one of their non-purple type Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So this will work nicely against majority of your matchups. And if our opponent happens to be using Chaotic Swell Stadium, I have the new Flannery supporter card, which discards the Stadium, in play, and 1 special energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. With the help of this card, we can easily place our Old Cemetery to allow for that damage counter to stack against our opponent's Pokemon. And finally, I'll be utilizing Colossal with the Tar Generator ability, which allows you to attach 1 fire and 1 fighting energy from the discard pile to one of your Pokemon in any way you like. And since our main attackers do not rely on any specific type of energy, this one works really well with this deck. And this makes us resistant to crushing hammers. And since we are using stage 2s, we'll be using none other than Orbeetle with the Evomancy attack. Depending on how many energy is attached to it, you can search your deck for that many stage 2 Pokemon and put it straight to your bench. The triple acceleration energy can help us get 3 Pokemon right away, and this energy can also help us energize Gengar's attack in some situations. And to partner with Orbeetle, I am using Cramorant V, more for its Beak Catch attack. For 1 colorless energy, you can search your deck for any 2 cards and put them into your hand. This is great for searching for Green's Exploration and triple acceleration energy for easily setting up our Orbeetle on the next turn. Your only challenge with any Orbeetle build though is Marnie, so just hope you don't get Marnied when you are trying to set up. But then again, you can just keep using Beak Catch. And this partners well with Colossal too because you can easily energize its attack. Spit Shot. For 3 colorless energy, you can deal 160 damage to any one of your opponent's Pokemon, and you discard all energy from this Cramorant. But you can just keep re-energizing it with Colossal, so this is a great attacker in this build as well. And our Orbeetle build won't be complete without Dusknoir. Its ability disables effects of special energies, both yours and your opponents, but it can easily win us games against opponents who center their build around special energies. I am still liking the camping gear for the Orbeetle builds. While it ends your turn, you can search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. It's great for moments when you don't have any other moves other than to pass, and you might as well use up your turn to find the 1 card you really need right away. I also increased the green's exploration count to 3, making it more likely for us to start the game with it in our opening hand. And as for the rest of the deck, I have Marnie and Professor's Research, and because Gengar only has 130 HP, I'm also using Big Charm to increase its maximum HP by 30, which increases its survivability, and this can sometimes help out our Blip Bug as well, so that our opponent cannot easily knock it out, especially when we're trying to set up Orbeetle in the very beginning of the game. And the rest of the deck are pretty self-explanatory, but I am running only 4 basic fighting and 5 basic fire energies in this deck. And that's pretty much it. My deck list will be in the description below, but enough talk, let's see how this build works. Alright, as with any Orbeetle builds, I like going first. Alright, we're gonna have to mulligan. And we get Blip Bug to start. You know, everybody got that Bidoof box and sleeve. I should start using that, but you know what? It's alright. Bidoof day, right? Alright, we have nothing to do here, so might as well use the camping gear. That's why I like this camping gear. It's nice starting with it. You know, when you can't attack or doing anything, might as well use up your move to get something from the deck that you really need for the next turn. And it seems like we have everything as long as our opponent doesn't Marnie us. We have Rare Candy and Orbeetle Stage 2 card to evolve into and triple acceleration. So, and they're gonna use Sonia, so we're gonna be able to set up our Orbeetle on our second turn, which is insane. I don't know if I've ever seen any other decks that has been able to do anything like this where they can start using Orbeetle on their second turn. But it's definitely doable, but I feel like you know, I've spent enough time dealing with Orbeetle that I think the one that we've been able to set up is the most optimal. So let's just go ahead and evolve, and I'm just gonna Marnie. That will kind of disrupt their huge hand there, and we get more energies, which is really good. We need to start discarding those. I'm just gonna use Evomancy, and since we can only draw 3, get 3, I think I'm gonna just set up 2 Inteleon and Colossal. I don't think they can attack us just yet. I hope not anyways. There are a lot of ways to accelerate energy in metal decks. So they can use metal saucer and just accelerate energy real quick. And they are using Bronzong, so it's just a matter of getting those energies in play, and then they can just move it around. So Corviknight VMAX decks is, for me, it's a good deck. It can really be a contender because especially when they use Cheryl, they can heal up, just move the energies around, and it can hit for 240 almost every turn. They can just switch between Zacian V and Corviknight, or if they have multiple Corviknights, they can just switch around that, fully heal if they need to, and just keep attacking. So yeah, it's this could be a tough match. Corviknight is pretty bulky. I'm not sure if they use any metal goggles, so we're gonna have to get those chip damage in as soon as possible, right? So there's the Bronzong, but right now they don't have 3 energies yet, so I hope they can't attack us. I really would like to use Orbeetle, maybe one more draw to get that Gengar out. Otherwise, it would have been a bad move for us to get these 3. Because usually, I do like just putting 1 Inteleon, 1 Gengar, and 1 Colossal to start. That's usually what I do, but given our opponent's first draw and setup didn't seem like that they could attack. And good enough for me. You know, they weren't able to attack and they just used Intrepid Sword. But at least we get Old Cemetery, and that will start dealing some chip damage on their side. So that's good setup for us. So this Orbeetle is definitely not gonna survive the next turn. I'm just gonna go ahead and use Quick Shooting on this Zacian V. And what I'm anticipating here is that they're gonna attack with Zacian V. So might as well set up a Gengar. That will end our turn. And when they attack with Zacian V, we can just knock it out with Gengar. Because 4 damage counters times 4 times 4 is 160 plus 10 base damage on Gengar, 170. But since it already has 4 damage counters on it, it will deal 210 damage, just barely. But we can do 1 more chip damage with Inteleon. But they're just gonna target Inteleon to knock it out, which could be very detrimental to this this strategy. So let's see what we got. We'll have to use Quick Shooting 1 more time on this Zacian to guarantee that knockout. But now the problem is that Gengar doesn't have any energy. And we don't have any basic energy on our discard pile. What I'm thinking is, unfortunately, we'll have to bump out this Old Cemetery. And what I'm thinking is probably just use Viridian Forest to get 1 energy. 1 energy from the deck. And then we can use Professor's Research. And let's get the Fire Energy actually, because Orbeetle has a fighting. We're gonna use Professor's Research to discard that. And then we can use Quick Ball to discard that other energy. But then we don't have an extra energy to attach onto Gengar. So I think I'll just attach an energy, use the switch, retreat with Orbeetle, which will get us an extra fighting energy, use Colossal Star Generator to get 2 energies onto Gengar, allowing us to get 3 energies on Gengar. And since we don't need to use our Green's Exploration anyway, or we can't use it because we have Pokemon with abilities, I'm just gonna thin out my deck using Quick Ball to get a Blipbug and Cramorant V, which is a good attacker too. And we're just gonna finish up this Zacian V for a total of 310 damage. And that will get us 2 prize cards. We get another Cramorant and a Pokemon Communication. So we do have a good hand here for now. If they do knock out our Gengar, we can try setting up a few more with Orbeetle. And Colossal can just re-energize Orbeetle for 2 energies. We can bench 2 more Pokemon if they do end up knocking out Gengar. And Gengar's ability actually allows us to find any 2 cards from the deck. So not sure what else we need on our hand really. We are pretty self-sufficient as it is. We could use an energy or 2 actually. Maybe attach it on Cramorant V for it to be able to attack. And we even get an energy on our top deck, which is insane. So let's just keep using... Oh dude, you know what? Forgot about that Lustrous Body ability. I tried using Inteleon's ability on it to do chip damage, but that ability of Corviknight VMAX prevents it from being affected by any ability. So okay, that's pretty cool ability. So now we're gonna have a hard time putting any damage counter on these Corviknight VMAX. But what I'm thinking is probably just use Cramorant V, generate these 2 energies, attach 1, and I'm just gonna Spit Shot for 160 damage. And at this point, I don't think it will be able to survive Gengar's attack. But they do have Bronzong, so they can just switch out the energies onto their other Corviknight. So what I'm planning to do is just do chip damage on this Corviknight as well. But with the 3 energy that they have, they'll definitely be able to knock out our Cramorant V. So, yeah, I I don't know how else we can win this. So they get 2 prizes. They'll need 3 more prizes from this. So this active doesn't have any damage counters. I'm thinking of putting Inteleon, energize it so we can do like 70 damage on it and finish it off with Gengar. That's what we could do. We could do that. But then that will only get us 3 prizes. Let's see if we attack it. So I'm just gonna quick shooting, I think, that Bronzong basic. But then, you know what? We can get 1 prize off of that for 1 more chip damage. So I really don't want this Inteleon to get knocked out. I really don't want, because that will secure us our... You know what? We have Cramorant. So I think I'm just gonna play Cramorant. What I could do is stall for 1 more turn. Let's get an energy from our deck for, let's get the fire energy so that it will even out our... Oh, you know what? We have a lot of fire energies already anyways. So let's just attach it on Cramorant. I'm gonna tar generator 1 energy on Inteleon. And let's see. I feel like I need... should we just attack, do chip damage on this? I feel like I shouldn't. Because I need the, we can secure that knockout with that quick shooting on that Bronzor. So we have Blipbug. I think I'm just gonna retreat into Blipbug here. If they have a boss, we'll see how it goes with the boss, but for sure I need that Inteleon to survive. If they don't evolve into Bronzong, we can knock out that 1 prizer and then use Cramorant V to knock out their other Corviknight VMAX to get us 4 prize cards. I think that's the only winning strategy I have, because they're gonna switch into this Zacian V. They could just switch. Okay, they're using a Bird Keeper, so they don't have a boss. They're just gonna reuse their Corviknight VMAX to attack and get a prize off of this Blipbug. And they're probably reserving like boss's order for a Cramorant V. But again, if they don't evolve into Bronzong, that's gonna be it. And hopefully they don't have a Cheryl. Well, they can't use a Cheryl anymore because they just use Bird Keeper. So I think this game is pretty much all set for us. Yeah, Corviknight VMAX only has 160 HP left, and they don't have any means to reduce attack damage. So I think we got this. So we got 2 energies we need. Tar generator these 2 energies onto Cramorant V. And we're just gonna attack. Oh wait, hold on. Don't forget quick shooting to knock out this basic to get 1 prize card. And we're just gonna use Spit Shot to secure our win against this Corviknight VMAX. Not too bad, man. Good game. Alright, on to our next match. Okay, so our opponent is going to go first this time around, and we're gonna have to start with a Blipbug. I do have to admit though that starting with Blipbug is a little intimidating because we are dealing with a 50 HP Pokemon, which can get really easily knocked out. And we are up against a single strike Urshifu VMAX deck uses Houndour. We do have a good chance against this deck because first of all, Gengar is strong. It is hitting for weakness. Single strike Urshifu VMAX is weak against Psychic, so it will get knocked out pretty easily. And actually, this matchup is on our favor because when Houndoom attaches energy, it actually builds up damage counters on their single strike Pokemon. So that will make it easier for Gengar to get easy knockout against this against their VMAX Pokemon. But the first challenge we gotta really take care of is setting up our Orbeetle. So with this Evolution Incense, I guess it doesn't matter which one to get. I'm actually just going to Pokemon Communication this to get ourselves a Cramorant V because this is the only way we can set up properly, and they won't be able to knock it out with their Urshifu VMAX. So I'm just gonna Marnie. Not sure if that's helping them out, or hopefully it is disrupting them, and we get a switch over that, which is really good. And then now we can use Beak Catch, and as always, let's see, we got an Orbeetle already, but we still need rare candy. So I think Green's Exploration is still the best option here and get our triple acceleration energy. Anyways, with Green's Exploration, we can even get Old Cemetery. We just need probably Old Cemetery, rare candy, but then there's the Marnie. So we'll have to use Beak Catch. Hopefully we'll survive this attack from this Urshifu V. And we get another Green's Exploration. You know, I've found that increasing Green's Exploration count to 3 has been very helpful with consistency. And I've been getting Green's Exploration card more often, which really makes the setup of Orbeetle a lot easier. I would like to put a Mew in this build, but it really is messing up the whole setup because once Mew is in play, especially when you start your hand with it, I can't use Green's Exploration. There is a way out of it though. I can probably use Skyla instead of Green's Exploration, but you know, one less card to get from your deck when Greens can get 2 trainer cards from the deck. So we'll get an energy using Viridian Forest, Green's Exploration with 1 Pokemon Communication and rare candy. They were able to take away that triple acceleration, which is really sad. So we're just gonna have to deal with this. And I'm just gonna leave Orbeetle in the bench, and I'm just gonna Beak Catch for a chance to get, let's see, we can get Old Cemetery, or you know what, we can even use Green's Exploration if we really wanted to, but I think I'm just gonna go for the Old Cemetery and the triple acceleration. This extra turn actually allowed us to get 1 extra energy on our Orbeetle, which is great because now once if they knock, well, they're gonna be able to knock out this Cramorant V, unfortunately. But at least with Orbeetle, we can now get 4 Pokemon on our bench right away. One thing that I do notice though is that with Orbeetle decks, you should be willing to give up a lot of prizes before you can set up. So we're gonna go ahead and use Evomancy. We're gonna get 1 Colossal, 2 Inteleon, and 1 Gengar on our bench. So with the Old Cemetery, it's gonna increase damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon each time they attach an energy, plus that extra energy that they deal with the Houndoom's ability. So it's I think we got this. Hopefully we got this. I don't think this Orbeetle is going to survive despite its resistance to fighting, because they have so much buff on their yeah, even with just beatdown, they were able to knock it out exactly 110 damage. So let's go ahead and use Gengar here. We are hitting for weakness against this single strike Urshifu. So let's go ahead and attach an energy. And let's use quick shooting. on this single strike, and I'm gonna deal one more just to secure our knockout on this, and then we can just use Pain Burst to deal 640 damage. My goodness. I think I think I overdid it. Maybe I could have put one of the damage counter on this single strike Urshifu. So with Gengar's HP, it technically has 160 HP, so they'll need at least one more single strike energy on this single strike Urshifu to increase its attack even with the beatdown for 130 damage. But they're just gonna boss our Inteleon. I guess they didn't have the energy, they don't have Urn of Vitality to recycle their energy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and attach energy on this Inteleon, retreat back into Gengar, and I'm just gonna go all out and use both the quick shooting on this Urshifu. And we're just gonna knock out with Pain Burst for 660 damage. Gengar single-handedly knocks out this single strike Urshifu VMAX deck. So good game to our opponent, man. Okay, moving on. And our opponent is going to allow us to go first. I guess they're using a Bidoof deck. Hopefully hopefully we don't lose against this Bidoof deck. Alright, so we are starting with a Blipbug again. And they're using Altaria, which Cramorant V will not be able to damage. I'm just gonna secure an energy on this Cramorant V. There's really not much we could do here, and I'm just gonna pass. It's happened a lot to me in many games where I would put an energy on Blipbug and then hoping or thinking that another energy would be available, just like the hand that I have now. And then my opponent usually would just use Marnie, and then it will leave me with like 4 cards that I can't play, and it gets me stuck. So I've learned over the games that I played, make sure I put an energy on Cramorant V first. Unless your opponent uses a lot of Crushing Hammer and just discards it, and then they Marnie, and that's just gonna mess you up. They're also using Galarian Zapdos, so I'm just gonna attach this energy on Blipbug, retreat. We got 2 fire energies in the discard pile, and I'm just gonna use Beak Catch and get ourselves, you know what, I'll get Green's Exploration and a triple acceleration. Yeah, Green's Exploration is just really useful, getting us those 2 trainer cards that we need in our deck. Speaking of Crushing Hammer, I guess that's all right. Oh, I guess I guess not, because they're just gonna Marnie. And they are using a Crobat VMAX that can hit for a hit and run, and also 180 damage. Man, I'm so grateful though that we have an energy off of that Marnie. If I didn't get an energy, I'd probably concede. It's just gonna be a really bad start for us. With the Pokemon Communication, I'm just gonna go ahead and get a Dottler. Might as well evolve it, increase its HP. I'm gonna use another Blipbug just in case. I'm gonna Beak Catch, get another Greens, and no, triple acceleration. Yeah. So we're gonna restart, and that's what I mean with Marnie. You start off really good, but then they'll just Marnie you and give you the worst hand. And that's why Cramorant V I think is really good, because it really gets us the card you need from the deck. And it's also, you know, the bulky 200 might not seem much, but it's definitely a lot better than, you know, Chimecho, which gets knocked out really easily. And Cramorant V has a great attack too that can hit anywhere in the board. As long as they don't have a Mew, you can hit the bench for 160, which is pretty significant. As long as you have the right, I guess, tech to use to energize Cramorant V. But they're gonna target our Dottler. Unfortunately, it doesn't survive. Good thing we had Blip Bug set up, another Blip Bug set up just in case. And I could just retreat with Cramorant to discard an energy, or I could just use Blip Bug. Let me just bump out this Chaotic Swell so we can use it on our next turn. And I'm just gonna use Green's Exploration to get an Evolution Incense and a Rare Candy. Yeah, and we got triple acceleration, which is good. And then we can evolve into Orbeetle, and we can get 3 Pokemon on the board right away, on our bench right away. And we got enough energy on the discard pile for Colossal to use. So I'm thinking here, Orbeetle is not gonna survive this next turn, so I think getting these 3 components on in play is the most important. So Colossal to energize into at least 1 Inteleon to do chip damage, and Gengar to do that finishing blow with enough damage counter against on our opponent's Pokemon. So with the Galarian Zapdos, it's not going to be as useful because we are only using 1 V Pokemon. So they'll still need 3 energies on it to do an attack. And it's actually weak against Gengar because Zapdos is weak against purple energy or purple types. They're using another Chaotic Swell, but we have Flannery, which is great. And that's what I'm saying, why Flannery is actually really good with this build, because we do like using that old cemetery for its effect to deal damage when they attach energy from their hand, and it just bumps out that Chaotic Swell so that we can use our Stadium so that it will do what we're intended, what we want it to do. So most likely they're just gonna retreat with this Altaria and attack with this Crobat VMAX. Alright, they're just gonna max Cutter. Interesting. They could have actually done a hit and run because Orbeetle is weak against Dark type. So we have enough energy. We can actually use Cramorant V to attack. I'm just gonna chip damage all of these, each and every one of these Crobat V. I'm gonna use Flannery, discard an energy. I'm gonna discard the second one because once we take care of this first one, we should be okay. So I'm gonna energize Cramorant V, Spit Shot, the one in the active. So what I'm trying to do is deal enough damage on all of their Crobat V. So if I deal, well, 160 will definitely guarantee us a knockout with Gengar, and they won't be able to knock out our Cramorant V because it has 200 HP, and their Crobat will only be dealing 180 damage. So we will survive with 20 HP, which is good. And we can even attack with 1 more Spit Shot if we really wanted to. We just need 1 more energy. Well, they're gonna Marnie us, so this could get us that energy we need, actually. No, we don't get any energy. And we can't use Green's Exploration either. Stealth Poison. They're just gonna Stealth Poison. Okay, that's fine. And they're just gonna retreat. Oh, you know what? That may have been a bad move. You know what? No, we need an energy. Never mind. I'm just gonna chip damage the Zapdos as well. So we'll be ready to knock it out even if they switch any of those Pokemon in play. Gonna go ahead and try and set up another Orbeetle. Feel like we'll need it. Unfortunately, we don't have that energy on hand. I think I'm just gonna ordinary rod these two just in case. And I can't do anything right now. I probably should just use Tar Generator and use Beak Catch. Or I could retreat with Cramorant V and just have them knock out our Blip Bug. Let's see. I'll just attach another energy on Gengar. And let's see. Is it worth sacrificing 2 prizes? I'll just Beak Catch. Why not? That will tempt them to attack with the Crobat VMAX, but that will get us 3 prizes once we knock it out, and they won't have any other Pokemon that can attack us because all of them don't have enough energy on them. So even that Zapdos V won't be able to attack us. Cramorant will be knocked out, and they'll have to pay off that 4 attack cost. So for now, I'm gonna use Ordinary Rod because we don't have any more Orbeetle in our deck. I'm gonna have to use Ordinary Rod, and let's see. We have 2 energies already. Could use another energy. Big Charm sounds good too. Or Old Cemetery actually, because they'll have to start attaching energy because they don't have any. So might as well set that up in the next turn. So definitely they'll be tempted to use Crobat VMAX here to knock out our Cramorant V. So let's see, let me think of the sequencing here. So Zapdos won't be able to attack. We can knock out the Crobat VMAX with Gengar. Wait, they're just gonna Stealth Poison again? Okay. Alright. I'm fine with that. I'm not sure why they did that. Pretty sure well, maybe they're thinking they don't want to give up a prize or prizes, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use Ordinary Rod. We need those energies to stay in the discard pile, and I'm just gonna get an Orbeetle back into the deck. Meanwhile, I'm gonna quick shooting this Crobat VMAX. So when they attach an energy, it'll be 40, and then on our next turn it can be 60, and Gengar should be able to finish off with a total of 300 plus damage on any of those Crobat VMAX. Meantime, we're just gonna knock out 1 with Cramorant V, giving us 3 prizes. And we got a boss. So I think this is it. If they can't if they can't bump out the Old Cemetery, any energy they attach to any of their Crobat VMAX will get them 20 damage counter. And then on our next turn, even if they knock out this Cramorant V, we can just use Inteleon to do 20 more damage counter, and that will be enough for Gengar to deal a knockout. So with 6 damage counter, 6 times 4, that's 200, and 6 times 4. What is 6 times 4? $240 plus 10. Yeah, I think that's it. 240. It will be like 310 total damage, I believe, if my calculating mind is correct. So let's do quick shooting. Energize Gengar. Bosses order this Crobat VMAX. Pain Burst for 250 damage. A total of 310 damage. Alright, I was right. I was right. Alright, good game. Alright, nice. We win that coin flip, we go first, and we start with the Cramorant V, although we don't have any energy, which is bad. So, you know, with 11 energies, well, technically, oh, there you go. Well, thank you. So we got an energy. We can go ahead and set up the old cemetery. That will start dealing damage on our opponent's side. And they're using Lapras V. And you know what? With Frostmoth, its ability allows our opponent to attach as many water energy from their hand to their benched Pokemon. And in effect, actually, that will deal a lot of damage with the old cemetery's effect. So with all that damage counter, if we do set up our Gengar, we should be able to knock out their Pokemon easily. Although Lapras does hit really hard, so I mean, you know what, all of our single prize Pokemon, even though they're stage 2, will be easy to get knocked out. So really, Cramorant V is the one that they could easily knock out as well, because even with that 200, if they get enough energy, they'll be able to knock it out. Unfortunately, we don't have any other basic Pokemon, so hopefully they don't set up this Lapras VMAX to knock out our Cramorant V. Our only choice was to get a Blip Bug, and we'll have to use another turn after next turn to evolve into Orbeetle with the rare candy. It's unfortunate start for us. We didn't have much to go with, so we'll just have to delay our Orbeetle setup one more turn. I just hope they don't knock out our Cramorant V. So ideally, in each setup, you would really want to play more than one Inteleon, but given the situation, sometimes you can only set up one. But even that one Inteleon actually makes a big difference. You know, the 2 damage counters can increase Gengar's attack by 80 damage, which can be very significant. So each turn that our opponent delays, and with the help of the old cemetery, the damage counter does stack up. So but again, ideally you would want to set up more than one Inteleon each game, ideally. So since we're gonna use more than one turn anyways, I'm just gonna attach one basic fire energy on our Blip Bug, and I'm just gonna get Green's Exploration and Big Charm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Another risky part of using Orbeetle is if you put enough Blip Bug, because you want to ensure your survivability. If you put a lot of Blip Bug in the bench, you can only bench 3 more Pokemon. So you do take a risk like this. I am taking a risk by just leaving one Blip Bug to set up an Orbeetle so I can bench 4 Pokemon. But if they do knock it out, then I'll have to start over from the very beginning with a new Blip Bug, which again delays an extra turn for our Orbeetle setup. So you really have to think fast when you set up your Orbeetle, how you can set up the fastest. If you need to set up more than one Blip Bug, if you feel like you need to, depending on your matchup, you might have to do that and just sacrifice that bench space just so you can survive, you know what I mean? So it is a little bit difficult to make those decisions during a game, but you do get used to it as if you play enough Orbeetle if you play enough Orbeetle decks. And they're not able to attack our Cramorant V because we do have that Big Charm, which is really great. And I can probably just retreat. We can use Orbeetle now, and that will spare us 2 prize cards that our opponent won't be able to get. I'm gonna go ahead and use Green's Exploration here, get a Pokemon Communication. We can get that Colossal back into the deck, and I'm just gonna get another Pokemon Communication just in case, or actually Viridian Forest, because we do need a lot of energy later on for our Colossal to attach onto Gengar. So with 4 energies on Orbital, I think I'm gonna get 2 Inteleon, 1 Colossal, and 1 Gengar. You know what? I'll get 2 Gengars. They're attaching a lot of energy callously. Even with this Lapras V, it already has 120 damage on it, just because of the old cemetery effect. So having these 2 Gengar ensures that we have enough attackers on our side of the board. All we need to do is get energy with the Viridian Forest. So we didn't really need that Inteleon, that extra Inteleon in this setup. So, okay. You know, I don't know if they know what our Gengar can do. But despite their having Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX, which is one of the hype cards in this, oh my goodness, they're just trying to knock out their Pokemon. Or maybe they think that 60 damage counter is not, it's nothing. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and use Cramorant V, put it in the active. We can get 2 prizes off of that Ice Rider Calyrex in the bench. Gonna go ahead and bump out the old cemetery. We have enough damage counters on our opponent's Pokemon. Get rid of the Colossal so we can get an energy with the Viridian Forest. And let's see, let's use Pokemon Communication. We probably need to set up another Orbital just in case. So I'll put that on the bench. And I'm gonna put an energy on Cramorant V. Tar Generator, 2 energies. And we should be able to knock out one of the Ice Rider with the Spit Shot. 160 damage. Nice. Not bad. Two prizes. So all we need now is 4 prizes. We have 2 Gengars that are available. And yeah, whichever one they put in the active, we should be able to knock out. So this Lapras V, so their Ice Rider Calyrex V, VMAX already has 60 damage counters on it. And oh, they're just gonna hard retreat with Lapras. Okay, so they have a lot of energy on this Ice Rider, thinking that they can spare some energies to discard so they can keep hitting for 240? Is it 240? But what they don't know is that Gengar can actually deal a lot of damage. So I'm going to go ahead and attach an energy, Tar Generator, 2 more energies on Gengar. I'm going to use Inteleon's Quick Shooting for 20 more damage counters. And that should be enough to knock out this Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. But before that, we'll use Viridian Forest first, so that we can get an energy for our next Gengar, just in case they try to attack with that Lapras. Pain Burst for a total of 330 damage. For 330 damage for a total of 410 damage on this Ice Rider Calyrex V. So with just 80 damage counter, man. VMAX Pokemon is Gengar just licks them all. Licks them all for a knockout. Yeah, there it is. Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. You know, it's so expensive in the trades. It's probably like 15 or something like that. I don't even have a Calyrex, Ice Rider Calyrex V. So, I don't know. Just get a Gengar. It's cheaper. Get your Orbital and you can win against decks like those. So, I think that's it. There's no way they can win. Even if they knock out our Gengar, we can set up another one and knock out whatever Pokemon they have. So, good game. Alright, let's go first. Yeah, every coin flip, I don't know if I've said this before, but I always choose heads, nothing else. You'll get 50% chance of getting heads or whatever it is that you want. So it's just straight up 50% chance of getting the desired coin flip that you want. So we'll start with a Blip Bug, and we have 1 energy. And we have camping gear, which is good. Probably just gonna use that this turn, and I'm gonna go ahead and use Pokemon Communication, get a Cramorant V, attach an energy on it, switch it, and I'm gonna go ahead and use this camping gear for a triple acceleration. Yeah, we got Green's exploration already, so I switched out into Cramorant V because we can survive well, hopefully we can survive our opponent's initial attack. And it looks like we are up against the Castform. But we already have Green's exploration. As long as they don't Marnie here, we can get Evolution Instance. If we don't have Evolution Instance, we can get a Pokemon Communication and a Rare Candy, evolve into Orbeetle, and use our triple acceleration to get 3 Pokemon on our bench. So yeah, we just don't want Blipbug to get knocked out. That's why Cramorant is in the active with an energy, and it's ready to retreat. So with this Castform, I haven't tried to build a deck on Castform yet, but I have seen, I have been in a lot of matches against Castform builds, and for me, I think the best strategy against these Castform is to outrun them with price exchange. If you're using a single price Pokemon deck like this one, it's better if you get ahead of them and start knocking out their Pokemon early on. So the price exchange, if you knock out their Pokemon knocks out yours, at least you'll be ahead in price, and you're ahead in price to win the whole game if you have enough attacker set up. But the only thing with Castform, it's very easy for them to discard a lot of stadium cards, especially with the help of this Galarian Articuno V, which discards two cards from their hand and draws 1 card. So they actually only need 8. They actually only need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 already on their discard pile, and all the Castform can attack for no energy at all. And that can be, although you might think they're weak, they're 70 HP only, but if they can continue to attack with 120, 150 damage, that can build up easily, and they don't have a lot of setup really. They only have 1 setup to do. So with the Green's exploration, I'm gonna go ahead and use a Pokecom to get this Gengar back into the deck, and we're gonna get ourselves an Orbeetle, evolve. We're gonna retreat and use our triple acceleration to get 3 Pokemon. Dusknoir won't be helpful here because they don't really use energy, although Inteleon could be very useful. So 3 Inteleon could be useful, but we're only gonna be damaging for 6. But I think Colossal, 1 Colossal into Inteleon would be sufficient. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my final answer. Because Inteleon can hit for 70, so it can knock out 1 Castform, and then while we do quick shooting, we can deal those chip damage on the other Castform, and we can possibly knock out multiple Castform in a few turns because of all the chip damage that quick shooting does with Inteleon. So despite their need to set up as much as we do, again, I think the technique here is to just be ahead in prizes in the prize exchange, and I think Inteleon's gonna make it possible for us. And I think they have enough. Do they have enough stadium? They can knock out our Orbeetle. I would like to have one more Inteleon though, if we can get another energy. Which we do actually. Colossal. We can use Colossal to energize Orbeetle. We can get one more Inteleon. Even though we'll only be doing 60 damage with a quick shooting, it's going to be enough to deal enough damage on majority of their Castform so we can be ahead in price. So Castform does 120 damage. The fire one deals 150 damage, but they need a stadium in play. And I'm just going to go ahead and just keep spreading damage counters on their Castform. I'm going to Tar Generator Orbeetle one more, and I'm just going to get my final Inteleon in play. So now we're hitting for 60. Two of them are already at that knockout point if we use all three quick shooting ability. And if we knock out one, whichever one goes into the active, one Inteleon can knock it out because Inteleon can do 70 damage. So they do have enough stadium in play. So you see all those arrows on Castform, that means that their ability is now active and they can attack for free. But with this Articuno in the active with 2 retreat costs, I don't think they're able to retreat with it. And so we're going to take advantage of that. And we're just going to keep dealing chip damage on their Castform. So for the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and knock out the fire, because it's the one that deals 150 damage. Inteleon can survive an attack from the other ones, but not from the fire, because Inteleon has 150 HP. For the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and retreat, and I'm just going to beat catch. Let's see. Old Cemetery won't work because they don't use energy, although Boss's Order would be useful if we need to attack one with Inteleon, because the other ones if we can build up enough damage counters on the other one, we can knock out one with a full HP with Inteleon, so we can knock out 3 Pokemon in one go. So I think, and they're using a lot of Dedenne, and Cramorant V can just target those for an easy 2 prize. So yeah, they have an interesting build here. So here they are ready to attack. They won't be able to knock out. Let's see, they can't use. Okay. But Castform, I think all of them have free retreats. So it's a very interesting. It truly is a very interesting mechanic. They're only dealing 120 here and there, 150, but you know, if you hit with 3 of them, you get 3 prizes. So it's a matter of prize exchange, really. Again, it's a matter of speed. So I'm gonna go ahead and use quick shooting, knock out this one in the active. That will get us 1 prize. And what I could do is retreat with one of the Inteleons. Let me just actually Boss's Order Articuno, and I'm gonna attach an energy on. Oh dude, okay, I made a mistake. I thought there was 2 energies in the discard pile. I was gonna use Spit Shot, but I guess I'm just gonna use Beak Catch. That's fine. So that was a mistake. I should have attached it to Cramorant V, and then so I guess the lesson here is always double check what's in your discard pile before you do anything else, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Big Catch to get Big Charm. Maybe that will help our Inteleon to survive an attack or 2, even from the fire Castform. And they did have a switch, so they're gonna knock out our Cramorant V. That will get us. That will get them 2 prizes. Now we're even. but you know what? I think in the price exchange we might still be ahead. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use quick shooting, probably build up 3 on 1, 3 on one of them, but you know what, we could spread it out. That's fine. This fire Castform is weak against water anyways, and let's just go ahead and let's see, get rid of that. We get another Cramorant, which could be useful. We could use that against our against their Dedenne to get 2 prizes. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see, I can get any of these. We already have 2 of different kind of energy in the discard pile, so Cramorant V can survive an attack, so I feel safe putting it in the bench already. Gonna go ahead and energize Inteleon, put 1 energy on Cramorant V, and just attack this Castform for 1 prize. So I think that's it. We got this. Unfortunately, we weren't able to use our Gengar just for the purpose of outspeeding our opponent with the price exchange. But yeah, Castform is a very it is a very strong build in that the setup is fairly quick. All you need is 8 stadium cards in the discard pile and it can start attacking. The only thing is, just like free energy attackers, is that if you use other Pokemon that uses that is not Castform without free retreats, they can get stuck in the active just like that Articuno, because if you don't use energy, you can't use energy to hard retreat with them. So if you use up all of your switch, they can get stuck and you can lose that way. So they're gonna knock out our Orbeetle, but again, in the grand scheme of things, that's it. Again, we weren't able to use Gengar, but Inteleon really shined here in Cramorant V with the help of Colossal. So what we're gonna do is just energize Cramorant V. We're gonna target one of the Dedenne, and we're gonna knock out one of their Castform with the quick shooting ability from Inteleon, and that will secure us our win. So man, Castform, don't underestimate Castform, but you know, with the right strategy, knowing what your opponent's strengths and weaknesses are, you can definitely win against them. So good game, nice showcase for Inteleon. Gengar is definitely an interesting card. If left unchecked, it can deal a lot of damage, and when it is knocked out, it allows you to get any 2 cards from your deck, which is really cool. With the help of the new Inteleon to add chip damage and also the old Cemetery Stadium, it makes it a lot easier for Gengar to get those easy knockouts. I think Gengar and Inteleon are great cards because they both can fit in any deck build. Overall though, I am very satisfied with this deck build. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.